Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RadioShorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin.
Here we are, Shorty. We're here again.
Kevin, we're here. We're recording this one late, so I am partaking.
Yeah,
Truly.
What
is this called? Truly
Fruit
berry punch drink here. And I'm going to try to wake myself up because it's been a long day. It's been a long week already. I know it's only like Tuesday or what's today? Wednesday? Wednesday. And we're not, 34 seconds into the podcast? My camera's already half fucked. Half
in the bag, baby.
You and Troy just do the show and just leave me out of it today. Just, don't come to me. I'm no good today. The camera's a fucking mess. My hair's not done.
What?
I just need a 4-day weekend. That's what I'm looking for.
You're getting it.
And I don't mean to complain on the show.
Yeah, people really like when you complain. That's what people love about our show. They write in all the time. Shorty, what great complaints you had this week. I can't wait to
what year is
hear
this?
More next week.
What year is this where they write into the show? Is it P.O. Box?
They're not actually
1, 2,
writing
3,
in. This
4,
is
York,
me
PA?
displaying my frustration with you because you always complain.
Hey, I want to tease here, and hopefully after Troy hangs out with us, I want to talk about my dating life.
Okay.
Which, I guess we could talk about it with Troy, who's waiting in the lobby there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it all about me, obviously.
Right.
This is not about me. This is about the man of the hour here.
Yeah.
Which actually I don't know too much about. We follow each other on Instagram and that sort of thing, but I don't. You know him a hell of a lot better than I do. So I think we should go ahead and intro the man of the hour.
Okay.
Mr. DJ Troy.
Yeah.
Is that what he goes by?
Yeah.
Mr. DJ Troy.
I don't know about Mr. I don't know, Troy. How do you feel about Mr. DJ Troy?
I am almost 50, but don't put that on me right now. That feels weird.
I mean like Mr. as in like respect, right? I mean as in like a respect thing, as in like, Mr. DJ Troy. Like, for people I don't like, I just say, Bob.
Bob?
Right.
I used Bob because like if I said like, if I said any other name like Nate, Nick, or just Kevin, they'd be like, oh wait, does he fucking hate these guys? Like, what's going on here?
Do you? Okay, whatever. Troy's here.
I love them all.
Troy is here. We're stoked. After Hours is fun. After Hours Shorty is like all over the place. I like this. Troy Miller's here with us. I think the first time I ever learned anything about you was really off of Nepa's Sips and Ish episode, which Nepa's a good buddy of mine. And I just was
He's actually here right now.
Oh, right. Yeah. I gave Nepa the night off because I can't make him stay late. I can't keep, he made us grilled cheese for dinner. Yeah. We sent him home. He's fine. He's heading back to Ohio. Right, Shorty?
It's weird that you had them here. It's weird that you had them there all day knowing that we were going to record at night, but it's cool. Whatever kind of friend you want to be.
All right. It's after hours, Yeah. So Troy, my man,
What's up?
Indiana, right? I had to look up to make sure that
Yes,
I had
sir.
to ask you. I didn't realize Indiana was in Eastern and Central time zone. So I was kind of a little like, oh shit, what if I just booked it for 9:30 and it's actually 10:30? Shorty's gonna kill me. But you're here with us.
Slightly
It
killed you.
is 9:30 Eastern. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're good.
What? Anyway,
just roll with the show. I'm dealing with camera shit.
Yeah. If I'm gonna cut this part out, if Shorty does this, we'll just steer the conversation away
going.
from him at all costs. Basically.
I can hear you, just like you can't see me.
No. Oh my God, hang on. Someone's just trying to. Perfect timing. Someone just tried to call me on Discord. All right, cool. So, Troy, my man, learned about you a lot on Nepa's podcast. You have a crazy entertainment background, and honestly, one of the coolest parts about you that I found was that you are in love with learning about being a DJ. But before we get into your whole DJ career starting off, tell us, just kind of give us your your elevator pitch of just yourself in general.
Growing up as a kid here in Indiana, there was only one thing that I wanted to do. This is Dick the Bruiser country. Only thing I wanted to do growing up was
movie.
What? Dick
Okay,
the
so make sure that
Bruiser?
wasn't a movie.
World's most dangerous wrestler? Come on, Shorty.
Oh, I don't watch wrestling. I think it's all fake and the chairs are made out of like
We can get to
Play-Doh
that.
or something.
Yeah, we can get to
To
that.
that.
That's all I wanted to do growing up was be a wrestler. So I didn't want to play baseball, school, the books. None of that ever really
I think
appealed
that's
to
how
me.
all of us are,
Studying
right?
hard or trying to get good
Let
grades.
the man talk, Shorty, please.
Sorry.
I was not going to do anything else but follow my dream. When I got out of high school, lose this, put this town in my rearview mirror, and off to greener pastures. That kind of happened. I did become a professional wrestler, which something people told me I was insane for, wanting to follow after my dreams. Because people, you usually dream big, but they just dream. They're dreamers. I actually set out and did what I always wanted to do. I put my money where my mouth was, so to speak, and I did something people told me I couldn't do. And I got pretty good at it, actually. So there's that. Got a little bit of a local following, and that kind of inflates your ego. I mean, you guys know, being DJs, we all got egos. I feed off of that. That's what I live for, being in front of a crowd. And man, just sometimes my ego got out of control. Sometimes I got a little wild and did a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done as a married man. Speaking of which, I'm on my third
Allegedly, right? Yeah.
hey, it's all out. I'm an open book. I'm on my third marriage right now.
Right.
So when I meet with couples, I definitely do not give marriage advice. Quite honestly, being a wrestler is what got me my gig of being a DJ. We hired a friend for me and my wife to be local friend to DJ our wedding, and of course the last minute backs out, can't do it.
Ooh.
So I actually ended up booking the company that I work for now. The owner had a DJ. He just started out, was brand new, only had like a couple weddings under his belt. So he said, "Hey, I got a guy. I'm desperate. I don't know nothing about weddings. You know what I mean? I hate going to weddings. That was never a fun thing that I always looked forward to before getting into the business. I gotta go. I do not want to go. We got to give these people a gift and, the whole thing. But hey, we did it. Me and the owner struck up a super awesome friendship. I mean, we just hit it off right off the bat. And my wife happens to be Mary Kay sales director, so she's always in the same meeting spots as he was. Local Starbucks. Everybody meets their clients there.
Right.
In a small town like we live in. So he'd always say, "Hey, your husband needs to call me." And this went on for like 5 years. And I'm like, I wrestle every Saturday. Weddings are on Saturday. So then it got to the point where, you know what? He told me what he's going to pay me. I was reaching 40 years old at that time. Starting to hurt a little more than it used to. And, I was thinking, hey, let's go try this out. So I went with him to a couple weddings, and dude, I got hooked. I loved music, of course. It was my soundtrack on the road, the highways and byways, hitting it town to town. That's all we had to do, talk wrestling and listen to great music. So I loved music. I just never knew how to put it together. You know what I mean? Sometimes I still don't. I feel Shorty's pain, especially when he was talking to Santi. I can't scratch. I don't even try because I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't.
So I need to get on.
I feel
on that fitness
I
program.
feel a little better knowing that so Nate Nelson was here in Greenville 2 weeks ago to see Justin Reed, and we were all palling around, and he and I were just driving down the road, and we were talking about something, and he looked at me, he's like, bro, I can't fucking scratch. But I still, I know I'm good at what I do. I know I can play all the right music, and everything goes off flawlessly. And so I think that, we all, like you were saying, we all have egos, and so that there's a part of you that ego wants that. You're like, okay, well, I've got this mastered. Now I want that because I want to be the best, and I want to be on social media, and I want to be at the biggest weddings ever. I think that's part of it. So you said you wrestled, and you said you like music. So now I have the best question of the night, and it's going to be early here. What was your theme song, or what was your intro song when you came out as a wrestler?
There you go. Here, when I got to my height, I used Skillet's Hero. So that was my.
Okay, I have no clue what that is. Not even gonna lie to you. I don't even. A skillet to me is a pan on a, on a kitchen. I don't know.
I got you. But yeah, that was my interest music. Is really a feel good song, get you pumped up and ready to tear somebody's head off. So.
It's not I want to dance with somebody. I always think that wrestlers should switch it up, I think instead of these hardcore rock songs, you should play fucking Miley Cyrus Party in the USA. It's a left turn. The audience is going to be like, what the fuck is going on? They're never going to forget it either.
There was a couple guys that have done that. They used Britney Spears and Take Me Home Tonight. The crowd those were definitely songs that people would chant to. So.
Oh my God, mine would be I'm sailing away.
Oh my God, dude.
I would totally do that.
I was that was going to be my next question is what would your walkout song be, Shorty? That'd be
that's what would yours be, Kevin?
Well, my karaoke song is I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, so I can't use that. That's got to be saved for the dive bars.
Okay.
I don't know. So I try to think I believe it or not, at 123 pounds soaking wet, I played football in high school. And I would always listen to Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, right as we were pulling into the school.
There you go.
Just to, because, dude, you really, music has that incredible power, right? That it can make you super happy, or it can make you, super, a little aggro, just like that. I used to work for the AV department at my college, and I would play Rick Ross in my ears just so that people wouldn't talk to me, because I was I got to get from A to B. So how can I put a permanent stink face on? I just rosé, just Right. So music is incredible like that, man.
That's so true. Have you watched the Woodstock '99 documentary yet?
Yes,
I have.
Dude, Fred Durst, that's perfect. I mean, basically, he whipped that crowd into a frenzy with break stuff, and they tore the whole place down.
Yeah.
So
and then right after that, wasn't it Bush came on? So it was Fred Durst is fucking throwing tables out to the audience, and then all of a sudden they were like, Kevin just spit his drink everywhere.
I legit just had to mute my microphone. I was about to spit out every.
And then literally Fred's like, yo, see you later. And then Bush comes out. That's that was the lineup.
Oh my God.
And then I think after that, they did that again. It was the next night they did I want to say it was not Limp Bizkit. Fred. It was who the fuck was popular then? Some 41 or something. I don't know. Something hardcore.
Alien Ant Farm or something like that.
And then it was Sarah Bareilles or I don't know, whoever was popular.
Jewel.
Something just was it Jewel? Was it?
Might have been. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, they took these left turns, and I'm no wonder they burnt the fucking place to the ground. You had them playing rock songs, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're singing, I'm a little torn, I'm already,
I don't think the Contaminator.
This is how I feel.
It didn't have anything to do with it. I'm sure the contaminated, toilet water.
Which, by the way, that song "Torn," I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was in 8th grade, man, I was singing the fuck out of this song. I mean, had my Walkman on. That was all me.
Dude, I'm gonna
say it again.
It'd probably still go off.
Torn, yeah, you're actually probably right. I've been trying to find songs during dinner hour to play. That's just different. That's just not your usual Frank Sinatra. I mean, I still play all that, but trying to find these songs, these just hidden gems that we haven't really thought about in 20 years. I I did play. It was on the request list, the must play, and it was for dinner. She had what is it? Purple Rain, Prince.
Ooh. There you go.
And so like the first note dropped, of course everybody knows it, and like literally by the end of it, they all had their iPhones out, just like, you know, with their headlights, their flashlight on their
oh my
phone. So.
That's amazing.
So I just can imagine Troy, like, you know, and now up next it's Troy, and then like Prince Purple Rain starts playing as he comes down to wrestle some big fucking guy.
Bro, I feel like sing-alongs would work for that.
But you're totally right, like what Nate was saying, though, as far as he says he can't scratch. Even I throw some clunkers in there from time to time, you know, like the shoes in the dryer. It happens. But I think each guy, each person, you, Kevin, myself, we have something special about us that we bring to the table. We may not be the best at everything as a whole, but we know what we're good at, and we bring it to the table and we deliver. So,
yeah, 100%.
Well, for the longest time, like as an owner, like I always felt behind. I always felt like, oh, I need it now. Oh, my competitor got that. Like, I gotta fucking buy that now. Like, you know, because it's just, that's kind of, I think, where the ego goes, where you're like, well, I've got to be the best too. Like, if I don't have that toy, no one's gonna book me. And then, you know, as I get older, like now I look back and I'm like, you know, like our competitor has the spinny photo booth thing, or the 360 or whatever. And I literally told Justin, I go, look, I'm gonna put it on my website, but they're going to, like, I'm not buying one. You can have every fucking dime from that thing. I don't want it. Like, you know, so the older you get, I think the ego, should dissipate a little as age comes about. So you went from wrestling to DJing, which is like, again, that is a left turn all in itself. I don't know too many wrestlers that turn DJing. And you said that the guy did your wedding, the guy from the DJ company.
He had a guy do it for us, but
okay.
Yes, the owner,
so the DJ company did your wedding. But then, so like, what made the guy decide to like continue to call you? Would you say for like 5 years? And was he adamant and like, yo, you need to come work for me?
Right, just because, I mean, I still had a presence on social media. Just, you know, had a wrestling following, and just my personality. I don't know what it was. Some people say it's that it factor.
That's it.
I don't know. We just hit it off, and I stood in front of people in my underwear with a microphone. So if I could do that, being in a
How does
suit
that work for your weddings? That wasn't a wedding. Oh, okay. Okay. It's
right.
A different twist.
But if I could do that, I mean, being in front of people like that and just being able to command attention. And basically, dude, it goes hand in hand, really, because as a wrestler, you got to read the crowd. You got to get the crowd to play right into your hands, and that's helped so much in being a DJ. Even though I never knew exactly what I was doing, like my first couple of weddings, I went to Jason is the owner, Jason Carpenter, DJ Sound Solution. The first wedding I went to with him, I wrote every song down in my notes on my iPhone in order.
That you were going to play?
Oh, no, every song that he played. And then my first wedding, I did the exact same thing that he did on my first wedding. And then I started getting requests, you know, and then, oh, that song really worked, huh? Let me mark that down. So that's just what I did starting out. And just, you know, I put together songs that I liked and songs that I knew people liked and wanted to dance to. And man, it just, you know, you just got to gauge what people, you could just, you know, I mean, you can read a crowd, Shorty. You can tell when people need this or they need that, or it's time to turn it up, crank it up to 11, or it's time to bring them down.
Yeah.
Great. Just like in a wrestling match.
It's also like testing things too, so Sunday I had a wedding and it was in North Carolina, and I didn't know this because I don't watch movies, and if for anyone that listens to the show, you know this. And I posted that photo, Kevin, of the mountains with the lake in the middle.
Yeah.
And someone replied and was like, how many times did you play Time of Our Lives? Like, I've had the time of our lives, and I know whatever. And I literally replied to the dude and was like, none? Why? And they were like, that's where Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Oh, dude, I did see
back,
that comment.
I replied back, I was like, never seen the movie. So I didn't know, but I was in Lake Lure, and it was, the wedding was for, I don't know, 45, 50 people. Not, not a ton of, not like 200 people.
Right.
And the playlist was like, man, I was like looking at it, and some of the songs she had on there, I was like, fuck, man, I haven't thought about these songs in like a decade. Like, bro, like the greatest, you were talking about like not mixing, or you're like your shoes in a dryer sometimes. I also think that like we look at like all these DJs on TikTok that are doing these mixes and these mashups. I'll tell you the greatest fucking thing is like literally just not even worry about mixing. And I dropped Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, and the 80-year-old like couple that are dancing together, bro. I mean, that beats scratching and mixing into any fucking TikTok song. Like just watching those old people have fun. I don't know, man. That for me, I was like, okay, like this isn't my typical 200-person, 20 to 25-year-old, person wedding, but it just, I don't know where we even go with this.
I don't know. Where are you going with it?
It was great. I loved it. Sorry, Troy. There was a question I was going to ask behind it, Troy, and then I don't know.
It's gone. No worries. But
Kevin is listening to Tutti
Island, did you hear it come out of my headphones? I'm sorry, that was way too loud. I was just like, I gotta make sure this is like 145 beats per minute, dude.
Right, bro.
Tell me you mixed into Pony,
bro. I didn't mix it all,
bro. You gotta like half tempo that and put Pony after that.
Sometimes, I mean, I watch those guys, and I get jealous. I mean, I got that FOMO and that envy, especially when I see all you guys at like. When you guys are all at a convention together and everybody's around the table and you got Big Earn sitting there and you got DJ Nate right? Nelson and Nepa and it's like all the
Big
cool
Earn
kids.
is Big Earn sitting at the table. He's got like a $500 cigar in his mouth. He just rolled up in like a $450,000 rental. Like that dude rolls like
I
deep,
see,
man. I mean, rolls deep. Speaking, so you're jealous of that, Detroit? Come to a fuck. Let's go. Let's get you on a plane. Do they have planes in Indiana? Like, what's going on out there?
Man, that's the problem. I work nonstop.
Literally nonstop.
I do work a day job. I'm sure we're going to touch on that some.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do that. That is basically just for insurance purposes. The benefits are great. I work at a university. My free tuition for my kids.
That's worth it,
bro.
It's tough to. I can miss any time I want, pretty much, to take off for that Friday wedding or whatever. So it's tough to give that up because it's always there, especially when I was almost to the point where I was like, forget this, I'm not doing this no more. During the pandemic, when it hit, then it came, and I was like, man, I'm glad I had this, basically a little bit to fall back on, but. It's just, I do that. I work 5 to 2, so I got to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning usually to get to work.
Oh. So right when Kevin and I are going to bed from playing Fortnite, basically. You could text us and we're awake.
And then, then like tonight I DJ'd and then I jumped on the podcast with you guys. So I've been going since 4 this morning. And dude, I'm no spring chicken anymore, so sometimes it gets tough. And then plus,
man.
I'm looking at your Instagram right now, and the photo you posted yesterday. I mean, you get the big fucking smile, you get the suit. I mean, you're looking fresh, my friend. You're looking fresh.
I'm trying.
He's fresh, man. He's no spring chicken, but he's a fresh laid egg, baby.
Yeah, I'm no spring chicken anymore, and DJing, 2-3 times every week. It's just tough for me to block out time when I could be making money or spending time with my family and taking off. My wife's gone enough, she's always in Dallas or this place or that place for Mary Kay, and it's like we're always going 2 different directions.
Right.
And I don't know. I need to just make it happen. She tells me, do it. She says, just go do it.
Oh,
she's like,
come on. Yeah.
Do it. So we'll have to see. It'll take some planning, just for me to sit down with the calendar and say, look, I'm going to go do this and just block it out and go do it. So
Yeah.
Hey, I love putting in the technical difficulties in the edit.
You do?
I mean, no, I don't. But I literally just ran around and I turned both my laptops off of Wi-Fi. I unplugged Roku stick, and then I also unplugged every Amazon like Echo thing I could find. So yeah.
So
I'm really hoping
Teddy has no TV to watch. She's just sitting in the dark all by herself.
Oh, I left that. That's upstairs. That's on the Wi-Fi
Okay,
extender.
so
So
sure.
hopefully hopefully that sticks. But I'm
You
really
like run upstairs. You're like, Teddy, you're not allowed to do anything until
Teddy,
we're
turn
done
everything
the
off.
podcast. Teddy,
Turn
read
it
a
off.
book.
read a book. Don't turn the light on though. Troy, I apologize for Comcast Xfinity interrupting you. You were talking about so you were saying your day job, right? You're up at 4 a.m. for that to get there at 5 to 2, and then anything else that you might have, and then we were talking a little bit about today because we had originally scheduled for like around dinner time-ish or something like that to record this, but then you're like, hey, last minute gig came in, I gotta work, can we do it after? And I was like, how are we supposed to say no to that, man? The guy's out there hustling. So, and you were telling me a little bit about the event that you were doing before we got started. Would you care to share?
It was the class reunion of 1960. So we're looking at roughly 80 years old.
They had it tonight, like on a Wednesday?
Tonight on a Wednesday.
They don't know what day of the week it is, bro.
It's
They're
true.
fucking... so...
Also, dinner is like 4, so I kind of understand. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Like
was
they're
like,
in bed by like 7.
Right. Yeah, we started at 5, ended at 9. Little few announcements, and a little bit
Turn
of
the
cake.
hearing aids up.
Right. I was like literally at not even a 3, 2.5, and I was told to turn it down.
And just ignore it, just ignore it.
There he is
But-
again.
What are you playing? Like, what are your top hits at the reunion?
Top hits.
Tutti Frutti?
Say,
Literally, dude.
I think I did play that actually. Surf City
See?
by Jan
It's
and
a
Dean
banger.
went off. Wooly Bully went off. Yeah, a couple Frank Sinatra songs that they could slow dance to.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a lot of like. What is our reunion gonna be like? Like, so my 20-year reunion is next year, which again puts me at 38. So like, I'm still young-ish, but I do think about if I make it to like 60 or whatever or 70, which I mean, part of me is just like, just take me out back at that point. Like, just don't do it. But like, if I make it there. And like, you think about our culture today, like, how we grew up in high schools and they were booty dancing and that sort. Like, is that still happening? Like, are we playing Usher? Yeah, and we're just like, we put
everybody's gonna be all
popping
tatted up.
Viagra and
It's gonna be
yeah. Like, are we getting our grind on from the girl from senior year?
I think we're gonna be
cheerleading?
trying.
Like, what's going on there?
I think we're gonna be trying.
A couple Viagras and I mean, a little Blue Chew.
I want to step in and stop this conversation right now before we get any further down this road.
It's an interesting question.
It is.
Like,
it's a
that's
valid
how we
question,
dance.
but hard stop when you start mentioning Viagra.
hard,
All right,
hard
sure.
stop indeed.
That's a hard go, baby. That's a hard.
See,
There you go.
Salud, girl.
there you go.
This
Drew,
is
if you-
Shorty one truly deep.
Trying to get Liquid Death to
Imagine me with
sponsor
3.
the podcast. Shorty's gonna get Blue Chew to sponsor.
Blue Chew, man. I actually heard about that for the first time on another podcast. It was advertised. I didn't know that. Like, it's a chewable Viagra. That's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's Blue Chew. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. it
What
was a
color
thing.
is it, Kevin?
Oh, I have that unplugged. I don't have my sampler on right now. I'm sorry. I know. I mean, it's
Podcast
on.
I mean, I hear it in your
Could you hear it through the
headphones.
headphone at least?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
hear it. In
yeah.
post.
I'll add it in post. You bet. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Extra
Troy,
work
you
for
were doing this 190th wedding reunion, whatever. Old people, right? So like that's funny because so you had mentioned sort of
Is
like when you brought it up to me, you were like, "Hey, this is what we got to do as the second man," you know. And I think I don't know if you just like casually brought that up, but like I've spoken on being a second man before, and I did like a thing with Joe Bunn about it. So like I'm really curious to hear your side of like the DJ side of things. Like, you know, you got to work on a Wednesday night, 5 to 9. You got to do those, you know, less desirable events and stuff like that. So you've done a lot like this. Tell us a little bit about like your experience as a second man.
Sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to say I do a lot, but the owner of the company, he started here where I am in Grant County. Really, this is a small, it's like really the poverty level in this community is like number 2 in the state. So he has recently taken our business to where basically number 1 in flourishing.
Nice.
So our business has basically tripled. That's where most of our business is down in Indianapolis anyways. The biggest city in the state and the capital. And that's where, you know, it's an hour and a half for me. So usually every weekend I have an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to wherever I'm going. But that's, you know, that's our bread and butter. That's where the money is. So he moved down there and still in this community, we still get those gigs where, you know, people, they still want us because, you know, of the name and just because of the reputation and the services that we provide. So there's some things that he still books here. And then, you know, instead of him being the one that does it, it gets, you know, relinquished down to me, which is understandable when he can stay at home, still make his cut. And I'm 5 minutes away. There's no sense in him driving all the way down here to do something like tonight. So.
Right. Yeah. So you're the type of person like you want to stick in the second man thing? Are you looking to like eventually become like an owner? Like what's the future kind of holds for you as far as DJing?
So many people that ask me that question, you know.
Yeah, I figured.
I have no desire, no aspiration at all to own my own company, to have that much stress I mean, my boss, he's like 10 years younger than me. He looks 10 years older. He's got a full head of gray hair and I laugh at him all the time. You know, he's getting lines in his head. And I'm like, dude, I don't want those problems. Jason, I love you, but I don't want gray hair until it. You know, I can still cut it out.
Thanks. I have something to look forward to. I appreciate it. Salud.
He takes care of me. You know, I get those gigs that he may not have to do. You know what I mean? But you know, if there's something that he can send me on, you know, that he wouldn't normally send another guy on, something that he feels he'd have to take care of as an owner. He has complete faith and confidence in sending me, you know, and that makes me feel good because, you know, he trusts me with things that, you know, basically his baby, his name, his brand, his reputation, and he trusts me to go out and get the job done, and he knows he doesn't have to worry. So,
yeah, that's definitely like the flip side of the coin, right? Yeah, you know, like sometimes you're the person that, you know, that does book first, so of course you're going to get picked first, or you got to like jump out, and obviously with your geographical situation, you might, you know, get sucked back into those things. However, being the first guy that they go to is an amazing feeling. You know, like being able to talk shop. Bro, you fly that flag so proudly. It's so exciting to see like you being sort of like a, you know, a presence for the company. And I think that a lot of you know, like Shorty, I'm going to ask you a question because I think this is an interesting dynamic, having like another second man here. And then, of course, you as an owner, and then me being able to have seen like both sides of it. I get to ask everybody the questions and I'm stoked.
Yes.
But so, you know, because like I've been in those situations where like you got to get up early and do like the random like marketing networking stuff, you know, but you get trusted with that too. And, you know, Troy, you strike me as the type of guy that you get put into a situation and you make it your own and you start to like cradle it and nurse it. And eventually you just like love the thing, you know? So while I know you weren't having the best time at dinner tonight, yeah, I saw that picture you put up of like you had just completely phoned it in and you had like a dinner jazz playlist on or something like that. And I was like, I've been there so many times and I totally understand where he's at. But at the end of the event, someone's going to come up and they're going to say, Troy, you did a great job. They're going to shake your hand.
They loved it.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. So
I was out there dancing with them, you know, They love you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that type of energy is super contagious. And so, Shorty, I know like lately I've been kind of busting your balls a little bit about like, oh, look out, your next wedding is, September 25th. What are you gonna do, buddy? Like,
my next wedding is September 24th.
Is it? Oh my God,
September 24th.
That's great.
I just had my wedding Sunday, which was August 27th,
right?
8th, and then my next one's September 24th. Yeah.
So
you've busted my balls a little, yeah.
I will never stop busting your balls because you're my friend, and that's just the way it works, right? But
kick me when I'm down.
not when you're down. I kick you to, but so when I first busted your balls, I think Demand might have been there too, and we were just like you're good, right? Like you're good for, like I genuinely am like, you're gonna be okay with it? Like I just, because I know how I feel like. Over the winter, season, like especially this past winter was just like instantly slow. And I jumped back in weekend in February and I had 3 weddings right away. Like my first wedding weekend was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that was like, that's trial by fire if I've ever had it. I took, like the whatever, 35 days without a wedding. And then, of course I'm still DJing, but like without a wedding, sometimes, like you can kind of fall off the horse a little bit. Shorty, I'm not asking if you've fallen off the horse. I know that you love kicked. And got kicked by me. I was right there, steel toe. But so, like with, you have to trust a lot of people, right? To kind of like take over your spots,
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Yes, is the short answer. The long answer is like, we have a good group of guys and we've hired a bunch of more. And I had a conversation with Nate last week, just Nate Nelson, basically like, all right, well, how do I do, like, don't just give me the shit that you do, but like, can you guide me in a sense of like, all right, we have 5 more guys we're bringing in, like, what do we do? What's the first step? And I mean, and Nate was telling me kind of what they do at LaForce, and I was like, oh, shit, like we're doing it all wrong. Like we are. We're not doing it the way we should be doing it. When he explained it to me, he was like, we do it this way because, with like controllers and music and stuff, that's like, that's like driving a car. But like when you go to like be in the driver's education class, they don't just throw you in the car. That you're behind a desk and you're looking up, questions in the book and you have to answer A, B, or C or whatever. So we have been, and I'll admit it. Like we probably trained the first group of guys wrong, and so looking at it and just constantly talking to guys like Nate and Glenn and Demand. Like I was on the phone with Demand for like an hour and a half yesterday. Just like we were just talking and riffing, and we were like, I was asking him like just different things, and he was like, oh, I do this, and he's like, the reason why I do it this way is blah blah blah. Like, and I was like, wow, it actually makes a lot of sense, and doing it that way. So, it's like, it's funny, like you guys do make fun of me for like having one event a month, like me being out, and then I looked at my calendar for October, and I was like, I have 5. Like, I was like, what? I have 5. Like I freaked out, which I may give one of those to somebody else. But anyway, my point is like I also feel like, and Troy, maybe you can also react to this as well, because I don't know your boss, I don't know how often he goes out or whatever. But for me, I can go to venue meetings, I can meet vendors, I can connect with those people. Like I can have lunch with wedding planners and what can we do to be better? Like what can we do to continue to be on your good side? Like what, and all that sort of thing. So like, and then being in the office and, I think a lot of people think I just come in here and sit down and like watch Tim the Tap Man on Twitch or YouTube or something, and it's like, I've got him on in the background. Don't worry. But like, I'm steadily working. There's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot, like my brain constantly is just like turning. And so I like the fact that I can be in here 5 days a week as my job. And I like the fact that I do now get weekends off. Like I get to enjoy the weekends. But I will say the weddings that I am doing, like when I show up, like I literally am just like at the last song, when the last note hits, I'm like, I gave it everything. I literally just like, my foot was on the gas the entire time. The car has no more fuel in it. Like the wheels are falling the fuck apart. There's no more brake left. Like I gave it every single fucking ounce that I had, because I do still love what I do.
I love it.
I do love going out. I love, being a part of the couples, but I also love the fact that, I do have guys that come to this warehouse every weekend, and I now don't ever have to worry like about shit. I don't have to worry about that. And so it's good to have guys like you, Troy. But so Troy, my question to you is your boss a lot like that as well, where he's not out on 150 weekends, 150 events a year?
Sleepy Shorty is fun.
I
Sleepy
think
/ truly.
I think he would like to be. There was a time when we had 7 guys under the DJ Sound Solution banner, but along the course of a few months, we lost like 3 of them. So he still loves what he does, so he still has a passion, and he still likes to get out there and DJ. He doesn't know what he would do if he didn't. So he's DJing
Right.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every weekend. Usually he books himself first, and then he still handles all the meetings and all the everything. We just recently switched over to Vibo, so that's been a lifesaver for everybody, but especially for him. But we're trying. We're in the process of, we want at least 3 more DJs right now. We actually had one DJ even pass away a couple months ago. So we had a full calendar, had a massive heart attack, and unfortunately we lost him. So it's just been hit after hit. One guy was drunk at a gig, and the photographer of all people, told the venue, we're preferred at this venue. So the venue, gets on, what is going on with your DJ here? So that was a whole thing. Just a lot of craziness, and just trying to find people that want to work, especially in our line of work, that write somebody. It's just tough. So if he gets to that point where he built up a roster of guys where he doesn't have to worry about, he probably will start taking some time off. But right now it's just, pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
I think that, for what we do, it's like, and not to knock any other profession in our industry, but, if you're the cake person, making the cake and you need people to deliver the cake, like, if you can find someone and train them to go, this is how to put the tiers on the cake, and this is how to decorate it and that sort of thing. And let's say they do it wrong, right? Let's say they do the wrong job, or they do it and they don't do it perfectly. Like, yeah, I guarantee the couple's not going to be happy about it, but the event goes on, right? For us, if your DJ gets shit-faced and just falls out drunk, like, no one knows how to operate our shit. Like, it's us, no one knows what to do.
Our reputation on the line. You can't just go out and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's my biggest hurdle. I think it's the biggest hurdle for any multi-op is, we do look at guys like Clock and Janai and LaForce. We're like, how the fuck do you have 25 people? Like, what are you guys doing?
And all rock
stars. And all of them, yeah. It's fucking unreal. And so it's like, for me, man, it goes back to what I was telling you earlier, where like I wanted the item, I wanted, my competitor got this, and I need to buy this. And so, like, yeah, my competitors may have, 5 or 6 more DJs than me, but I always think that slow and steady sometimes wins the race.
Right.
And I am, through therapy and a lot of other things in my life that have taken place, like, I've definitely kind of started looking at things a little differently, where, like, hey, if my competitor has 20 other guys, at least I know now that if we're booked up, I at least now 100% know I've got someone I can trust to go, hey, sorry, we're booked.
That's where we are right now too. At that point, he's got, a core group of guys. All of us are usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, plus him. He doesn't have to worry about a thing. Everything goes off the way it's supposed to. So it's just one of them things where if it's not broke, you don't want to fix it. But
Yeah. Well, that's
still, he'd like to add a few more guys where he can lighten his load.
That's where you start to add other people in, as you do start to lighten the load. But then at the same time, I think like a restaurant is run in a very similar way, where you have so many like serving staff so that you can always have coverage. But then you get to the point where you have like almost too much coverage, and then you don't want to like start taking money away from people that they've been expecting it for a really long time either, you know?
Right.
Yep.
But like I will say that, I've heard a lot of stories about DJs getting drunk and getting fired on the spot, because of venue relationships, bro. Like that type of stuff is just, it'll leave a hole in your head, and you'll have trouble.
He told me from day one, he says, I don't fire DJs. DJs fire themselves.
Literally.
So,
It's not. Maybe the actual DJing stuff seems like rocket science to most people, but just about everything else is not. It's like, don't drink when you go to your job. Get there on time. Early even. Like, in the past week, I've had so many accidents happen on my way to a wedding. I'm leaving 4 hours early, even if the place is like 12 minutes down the road. I'm not risking it anymore. Like. Right. That's and
Kevin,
that's
you and I are the same in that. Like, my wedding in North Carolina was an hour away, so it wasn't that far. But I'd never been there. The wedding started at 5. Sam and I arrived at the venue at like 1:45, 2 o'clock, something like that. And so, like, being there early, we have everything set up. The uplights are set up. The photo booth, like, Sam and I had time to like just relax, just kind of like not have to rush in and stress.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw, Kevin, you were rolling through, like, I don't know, you look like the Dukes of Hazzard one weekend.
Bro, I'll put the video in. Come on, fuckers. Please keep driving. Stop stopping. Oh my God. I was stuck on the highway. I had left extra early. I was stuck on the highway for over 30 minutes. Before I did what I did, I literally prayed, like, in my car, and I was like, God, you got it. You got to get me there. This is someone's wedding. This isn't about me at all. Like, get me there. I'm working by myself. It was like 90 minutes away. It didn't seem like it was going to be a big deal. When I work by myself, I get there super early.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no reason this should be happening. By the end of it, I was driving off the highway onto the grass, cutting in between buildings. I'll put the video in the final. Like, it's literally York Technical Institute on the side of 83. I'm just like, fuck this. And everybody was doing it, but it was an incredibly frustrating moment. And, the stuff that people don't see that we do. And I realize I'm preaching to the choir here, because nobody listens that isn't a DJ except for my parents. But like, that's the shit that we have to live with, and that we definitely got to work through, so like, working through, hey, listen, we just fired somebody last weekend. You got to pick up this extra job. It's like, maybe you had your weekend already planned out, right. But then you just got to pick something up. And that's, I think, where, like, being the second man. So Troy, like, how much of the behind the scenes stuff, like, you seem to know a lot about it. Are you like Jason's first guy that he goes to kind of like vent some of the stuff, to like bounce ideas off of? Like, how much of that behind the scenes stuff are you a part of?
Pretty much a lot of it. I mean, sometimes, of course, I hang out with a lot of the DJ owners around, they tell me I'm not one of the boys or what, I'm not one of the guys. I'm one of them. I'm not one of the, I'm just not like a normal DJ, because I get it, I guess, is what they say. But I'm privy to some of them conversations. But usually, he might bounce ideas off another business owner or something like that. But as far as what's going on with the company, he always keeps us in the loop and bounces ideas off of me, and things that he wants to try to change or he wants to try to do, stuff like that. So
that's super cool, man. That's an incredible amount of trust to have, to like bring you into like kind of that inner circle, Seems like like you guys feel similar about each other, and sort of just like, hey, like, Troy, you're obviously there to help. I don't think you've done anything that would like hurt the company, clearly. You know, bro, that rap you just got on, oh my God, man. On your Prime, is that a Prime 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, Shorty, have you seen the rap on? Yeah, you can go look on his Instagram right now.
I don't, and that's I don't understand why more guys don't use those things. I don't need my laptop. I mean, I have it there, of course.
Sure.
You know, sometimes I'll play a Spotify dinner jazz playlist off of it,
Right.
or whatever. But you literally do not need. You plug in your stick, and everything's there. It streams.
I need my 200,000 songs. I'm sorry. I need, you know, like
I mean,
if some grandma requests some song from like 1913, like I got you, girl. I got you.
It does everything. I mean, it runs off Tidal. It runs off Beat Source.
Yeah.
It'll do literally anything. It is like
I do think that's the future, obviously.
Right.
I also think that those of us, myself, like that are just they're so in love with our laptops, right? I don't know. I just don't know if I could. I don't know if I could get away from not having my laptop.
Dude,
I don't know what it is.
I didn't think I could either, but I mean, I'm still running a 2012 MacBook Pro. I put a terabyte in it. The thing works like it's brand new.
2013, baby.
Right.
2013.
I am in the process. You know, the next big purchase I'm going to get, it will be the M1 chip and all that stuff. But because this thing is just, you know, it's only a matter of time. It won't update. It won't do anything but it'll play music and stuff like that, of course.
Yeah.
But
Well, you don't have to worry about that because you got your sticks.
it's amazing. I still got to get music somewhere to put on the stick, though.
Sure.
That's my problem.
There you
So
go.
I don't want to lose everything and then.
Yeah. I will say the one argument that I do have against going full stick is like the vinyl side of things. You know, like to be able to use that, you do need like a laptop, unless they build like the S13 and that has a USB straight into it somehow that can then, you know, like run control vinyl or run phase through. I guess maybe you could, there's something there. There's got to be something there, you know? Or that might just be my lack of experience with using USBs. But, you know, I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I definitely just always want to have like a USB prepared at the very least with crates just available on it because, you know, you never know. You might show up to DJ somewhere and it's just not what you expected, right?
Right.
I think it is like the like what you're using the Denon. What is this thing called? The whatever.
Denon Prime.
Prime 2.
Yeah, the 2.
Where you don't use your laptop and all that. Like I think that is like kind of the beginning stages of like what the future kind of holds. I look at like Oculus the same way, where it's like if you, I don't know if you know what an Oculus, if you have one or if you used one, but you know they're a little bulky. It's kind of goes over your face, this sort of thing. I look at it like it's kind of in the Atari phase.
Nice.
You know, at this point, like, you know, it like we're gonna look at it in 10 years and be like, we wore that bulky piece of shit on our head, like, you know. And I often wonder like, how much smaller do the controllers get for us? How much, like, how smaller does the screen get? Does it just like, is it going to get to a point where technology, like let's say you don't even need a screen, right? Let's just say like you, or you need, you know, I don't know, a tinier screen, and you play. And I've talked about this to somebody, by the way. So if they take my idea, this is my idea. But like, let's say you're playing like Promiscuous Girl or whatever, right? On deck 1.
Right.
Like, will it eventually get to a point where like deck B will suggest like 3 or 4 songs that like you already have started playing at other parties?
You can.
So like,
yeah.
wait, what it already does?
You can set up smart crates.
Algorithm. Yeah, I mean, algorithm DJ Pro. I mean, you can run it off your cell phone, and basically it suggests songs in the same genre, the same everything. So you,
yeah, I think T-Dub, Tyler Wallace, right? I honestly only know him as T-Dub, from Boston. He's running that.
Oh yeah, he does the show.
Yeah,
the Boston show,
thing.
the one that Troy should go to.
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. So Tyler, right? He I think he made smart crates that, if based on like the song you're playing, if you set up your genre, if you set up like your keys appropriately and you set your BPM, which I know Serato does a lot of that for you, but he made smart crates that will literally like suggest, it'll read whatever song you're playing and then it will create a crate that will suggest like what you could play next.
Right.
Well, so like, okay, so a crate. Okay, so I'm a little lost here as to what that is. So like, basically, it's going to create a crate of like what you've been playing, right?
No, so a smart crate you can set up rules for, and then it'll tell. So like, I could set up a rule for, and I've done this before, like any song that has hip hop in the genre, and it's between the years 2001 and 2011 or something like that, you know, so that I know I'm getting that 2000s, you know, hip hop, right?
In the era. Right?
That's the super simple way of using it. You know, I had one that just had Justin Bieber as the artist, you know, back when I first started DJing, and it was like, when in doubt, Fetty Wap it out. Like, so I had a Fetty Wap smart crate. Like, so that way, anytime I add new songs that have Fetty Wap as the artist, it would add it. You know, so I think.
So what I'm saying is, like, on deck 1, you're playing Promiscuous Girl, and then I want deck 2, deck B, whatever you want to call it, literally to flash like 3 or 4 songs right there. I want to be able to like go, oh, I haven't played that in a while, or what. I mean, we're getting off track here. The whole thing.
I love it
because again, like, I just want to keep my laptop and my 200,000 songs here. I find it interesting that like technology, because like I was listening to Mark Zuckerberg today on Joe Rogan, and so he's talking about like metaverse, and he's talking about, you know, the Oculus and that sort of thing, and where eventually we will be able to touch something in the metaverse and our senses will be able to feel it. So like if you touch, you know, a banana, if you squish a banana, you'll be able to feel that in your hand.
Nope. Not me.
Or if like Kevin, if you and I wanted to do a podcast, you know, instead of it doing it like right here, we would do it on the metaverse and basically be in our own studio. So we could invite the guest in, but then take it a step further, and like, let's say I wanted to shake Troy's hand, I could literally shake his hand and feel his hand.
Wow.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
That's going to take your dating game to a whole new level, Shorty.
Oh, baby. I'll be 3 wives deep, and I'll be able to keep all of them, because one of them will be in a headset, one of them will be in my ear, like, and then I'll have one in real life. I don't know, man. I think,
and then you have one upstairs that's reading a book because she can't watch
in
TV
the dark, right? Yeah, callbacks.
yeah.
No, I mean, like, so there. I guess there is one thing that, of course, we're always pushing technology, but at the same time, there's always the people that appreciate old technology too. You know, there's still the people that love, like, you know, their Pac-Man, you know, like arcade games and stuff. There's still people that are in love with vinyl, right? Like all that old stuff. You know, I think sometimes
love their vinyl.
Love their vinyl, yeah. But you know, like the charm of it all. The charm of it all.
I put that wrap, like you were talking about, though, on there. And I love shoes.
Yeah.
I love Jordans.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid. And
well, it matches your Jordans, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just like right behind Kevin. He's got the same pair right there. Those.
Yeah.
That's the holy grail right there.
Yeah,
UNC,
right there, baby.
White, Jordan 1s. When I see
I got
Joe
ones
Bunn,
on right now, too.
There you go. When I seen Joe Bunn do the Chicago on his laptop controller he gave away, I was like, I mean, well, that'd be perfect. That's everything I wanted. I wanted to get a skin, and I had no idea. I mean, I didn't need a big wrestler on there or whatever, you know.
Right.
Like,
That would have been a little
You
weird.
don't want a Hulk Hogan?
The Hogan on there, you know, or the Macho Man, or
Well, and now since the sex tape was released, we all know how big Hulk Hogan's schlong is, so you could have just had that on there as well.
I didn't even know that happened.
So you don't know this?
I didn't know, no.
Yeah, so Troy, do you know this story about Hulk Hogan?
Oh, yeah, the Gawker,
With Bubba the Love Sponge?
Bubba the Love Sponge wife or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so
so
Bubba the Love Sponge, yeah, so
Bubba's?
So basically, from what I gathered, there's a documentary on Netflix about it, I think, or one of the streaming channels, and they were talking about it. And basically, like, Bubba the Love Sponge filmed Hulk Hogan fucking Bubba's wife. I believe I had that correct. But then it got a little weirder because Hulk Hogan was like, and this may be this. I think this is correct. Demand's going to kill me if this story's wrong. But I think I had this correct. Hulk Hogan apparently was screaming the N-word or something. Like, it was something crazy. It was something just outlandishly bizarre.
That was when his son was in jail.
Oh, okay, I got him confused.
Okay.
Okay.
having a conversation.
I love Kevin. I love Kevin. Like, had a sigh of relief. Like, oh, it's the N word when it's the sun.
Well, as long as it wasn't during the sex tape, that's just like the instantly most popular shit in the world. If that's true.
Got canceled for a while, so.
But yeah, so Bubba the Love Sponge, who used to be on WFLZ in Tampa, who was was on Stern's channels for a while as well. Like this
on
tape,
radio.
I think did Bubba leak the tape? Isn't that what he did?
He did, yes. I think it was all set up and filmed on purpose without Hogan's knowledge. So.
Yes, that's what it is. So Hulk took Gawker to court because Gawker's the one that released the video and sued Gawker.com for like releasing the tape. But like apparently like Hulk's what do they call it? You know, when a baby's holding a fucking apple. What is that? Is that
A baby
correct?
holding
The
an apple,
correct
yeah.
terminology? Yeah. So which I mean it's Hulk Hogan, you know? Like I mean
So he's well
a big
hung,
dude.
is what you're saying.
He's got a big schlong, is what I'm trying to say.
Nice.
Not a small schmeckle, a big schlong.
There you
Troy,
go.
you were in wrestling for a really long time. Since you're here, I just gotta ask, how fake is it?
We do know who's gonna win and who's gonna lose, so it is predetermined. Fake is kind of the wrong term to use.
Choreographed?
Choreographed for sure. Fake is what people get. Usually wrestlers, they get mad, and that's why reporters get punched in the face and stuff when they call it fake.
That ain't fake, dude.
Because it's really not fake. It's the wrong word to use. It does hurt. The wrestling ring is not a trampoline. I've had several big jacked up dudes say they wanted to be wrestlers. As soon as they got body slammed, they're like, oh, they couldn't believe how much it hurt. Basically, it's a steel frame with 2x4s and about that much carpet padding on there. It's not soft at all. So you just got to know how to fall and protect yourself. It's all about protecting each other. A little bit of showmanship, and there you have it.
So, and this is the WWE as well. Like you're kind of, including all
pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah. Well, because I'm curious, because like I never watched wrestling as a kid.
Right.
But all my friends, and this is, when I was in middle school, high school, it was the Hulk Hogans of the world were the leaders of the pack, I guess you could say. And I don't know, I just never got into it and I always thought it was fake. Even as a kid, I'm like, this shit isn't real. Like, come on, like they're like, the girl comes out and is cheating on him with her. There was this whole storyline bull. I don't know. It just to me but I think you're right. Fake is probably the wrong way. And I also think like now that I'm older, I look at it and go like, even if it's choreographed, you can still get hurt like
for sure.
tremendously. Like there's still a huge risk there. So it's not like you're, not landing on just a piece of plywood, right?
You still have to perform the stunts and perform them safely.
So do you practice all that beforehand? Like, do you practice that with the guy you're going to fight or just with a random or like?
Really? I mean, you do all that when you're in training. Basically, you go to a school or you get trained by a wrestler privately. They run you through the paces. You basically know what you're doing, how to do things safely, and then you go to promoters, book you from there. Kind of like being a DJ, you get bookings. You show up here. This is who you're going to wrestle. Basically, we know everybody. Like in the DJ community, you know everybody, so you kind of know who you're paired up with. You guys have an idea what's going to happen. You're told who's winning and who's losing and how. So you just come up with the match and how to make each other look good and something you both can be happy with and go from there.
So what are your thoughts on the Vince McMahon situation then?
I mean, that's been going on for years.
You think he really?
Oh, for sure. That's been going on since the 80s, I believe. And it's just now, I mean, I don't think him and Linda have even romantically been together since the 90s, I would think.
God, sounds like a lot of couples. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. Kind of sounds like they all just play a role, right?
Right. So, I think it's been going on for a while. It just is now coming to light. So,
So I'm dumb. So Vince McMahon is retired, right? He announced his retirement. So who takes over that organization now?
I really don't know. Since it's a publicly traded company. I mean, the shareholders and everybody really are. He was just, the
Probably a voting
CEO
system
or whatever. So he doesn't really. I don't know. Plus, I really don't keep up as much. I mean, I watch it when my son watches it. I usually watch the pay-per-views with him. I don't keep up like weekly like I used to. It's kind of one of them things where, I'm into learning about being a DJ now, the music, and I spend my free time, on DMS instead of WWE.
Dude, I love that.
Does your son want to get into it? I mean, you said he was like watching wrestling, and obviously you were a wrestler. So is there kind of that like I want to emulate? It's tired. It wants to copy you. I'm just gonna say that.
Troy, hello.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't think you can hear us.
Oh, sorry. It's okay. It's okay. That was great. Everybody was just like,
so funny. Bro, we asked the question. I guess you couldn't hear it, and then Kevin goes hi. And you go, yeah, what's up?
That's great.
Does your son want to get into wrestling, or would you want him to be if he said, Dad, I want to be a wrestler?
I'm really trying to discourage that path. I mean, there's no money in it. The chance of making it slim to none. So no, but my heart tells me, I mean, it's in his blood. That's all he thinks about night and day, just like I was. So if he wants to try it, of course, I'm going to steer him in the right direction. But, I'll make sure he has.
Listen, man, wrestling got you to DJing. So, whether it's an end all be all or it's a stepping stone to something cooler. I do remember from Nepa's podcast, you said that he was like, you would come home and he'd be wearing like your wrestling boots and stuff like that. Like that's that's a pretty cool image to have, man. Does he show any interest in DJing at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. He loves it. He always wants, every time I leave, Daddy, I want to come with you. Well, you got a few more years, buddy, but
soon.
How old is he?
6. He'll be 7 in a couple months. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. So Joe Bunn's son started DJing like what, 12, right? So you got a couple years and he's there.
There you go. There you go.
Troy, what is when you wrestled? Because now I'm fascinated. What is the worst injury you got?
Injury, probably concussions. I got a pretty bad concussion that set me out for probably a year. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Constant headaches. Really rung my bell pretty good. So, I mean, I was like worried about getting back in there for a while. So that's about it though. No broken bones, stitches here and there. But I mean, usually stitches are self-inflicted. So
I love Troy. Troy says like stitches, like no big deal. And I remember I had stitches one time and I cried like a fucking 12-year-old girl.
I've never had stitches.
I'm the worst when it comes to stuff like that. Like if my arm is like open or whatever and I need stitches, just put some duct tape over it. That's how we're treating that with me.
No, I've never.
I can never be a wrestler.
Never had stitches. I've never broken.
My worst
bone.
injury actually was outside of the ring. So, right here, March, I tripped and fell at my shoot job out of a lift and tore my bicep off my bone. So, I mean, right at the beginning of wedding season.
Oh.
So yeah, that wasn't good.
I'll be honest, guys. Like ever since I became a DJ, I really started to like baby my body because I was like, I need to be standing for upwards of like 8 hours a day. You got to do it's more than 50 pounds you're picking up and putting down. You don't just need to like go and get that office PT approval or anything like that.
When I started DJing, I was still wrestling at the time too. So on the weekends, I wasn't booked to DJ. I was having a match. My boss Jason was like, dude, you cannot get hurt.
Yeah.
Just come back in one piece. You need to just quit that wrestling stuff. And finally.
Well, yeah, like you were talking about babying your body. And like as I get older, like I things start to hurt and ache a little more. And I will say that like for us, all our stuff is on wheels. The TV booth is on wheels. My EV case is on wheels. Like the intelligent lights are on wheels. So like it is like I don't get in the van like as sore. Like still a little like because I've been standing, DJing and stuff. But like, I've always told even guys around here that DJ, at other companies or whatever like that. I talk to them like, dude, if you can find a way to put stuff on wheels and just roll stuff in and not have to literally carry stuff, like it literally will save your body. And I think that's, that's something that we don't probably think about enough or is talked about enough, like especially on podcasts or, in seminars or DJ expos, like it's gear this and gear that. And it's like, I feel like, there needs to be that conversation like, Yeah, you want to be able to move when you're, on a Tuesday and still not like struggle. So
I think you found your keynote. Here you go, Shorty.
Say it again.
You found your keynote.
Yeah, well, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to speak anywhere. No, that's not me. Kevin, you can do it. I gave you the thing. You just go up there. Just at the end, be like, oh, and Shorty told me to say all this, and then just get off.
No, man, I don't think I ever want to speak again. I just don't. I don't know. It was a great experience the first time. It was super fun, but I think I spoiled my chances by rushing through an hour presentation in 35 minutes because I was so nervous to propose to Teddy. Like literally, like
you cannot.
I think though, if you did it and weren't proposing, it'd be different.
I literally think if I did it again and I wasn't proposing, I think that's why Joe Bunn gave me a second shot on the vault stuff. Because I went up to him after and I was like, "Yo, how'd I do?" And he was like, "You sucked." And I was like, I know, but how was the proposal? He's like, that was the best fucking part, man, clearly. But like, you're just like, he literally said this like almost verbatim. He's like, you're just like me. You got the great ideas. It's just sometimes just like putting it out of your mouth is tough. Mm-hmm. Like making the presentation, clicking a slide is very not me. Like I literally, like I would click a slide and I wouldn't talk about what was up on there.
Like Mike Walter is great.
Mike Walter's amazing at it. He's put together more. Oh, so what actually, hang on. So we just mentioned the PhDJ podcast. We haven't really talked too much about them like not being around anymore. Troy, I know you were a big fan of the PhDJ podcast. So we're basically the replacement though, right? Like,
right, for sure.
Yeah, we're the replacement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so, though.
I literally was driving. I was driving back from Jersey and I text Joe Bunn a screenshot of my dash. I was listening to the last PhDJ podcast. And Joe Bunn texts me back. I just started listening. He goes, just get to the end. He's like, I stroked your dick at the end. So, I plugged your podcast or whatever. I told him the idea, though. And I said this at Expo and I've said this on the show. And Troy, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong in this. I told them they need to keep the PhDJ podcast as is and have guest DJs on. So, like, they either pick a topic or Drew and Fuse come on and talk for 20 minutes about just a topic that they can throw up on the feed. And then if Joe and Mike ever want to just step in and do an episode here or there, they're still obviously, are able to do that. That's my idea,
I think it works.
Yeah. It's like guest hosts of SNL,
But until then, we're the PhDJ podcast 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty hard dick joke podcast.
I'm here for it.
My man. Yeah. So we're kind of like wrapping a little bit here. It's a little later, and frankly, I can see Shorty just nodding off in between segments. I know you're not, bro. You're actually sprightly as ever, and I appreciate it.
I'm enjoying Troy.
Yeah, we are. Troy, you're a great dude.
I just think about it in my head that if I were a wrestler and like, listen, Troy, I love women to death, but let me tell you something. That fucking photo of you right here on your Instagram, and you got your phone out and you're taking a selfie or something. You look. How would you say you were 50? Fuck that, man. You're like 35. Come
48,
on.
48.
Bro, you come on, man. You look like you 35, man.
You do wear it very well, Troy. You really do, man.
Seriously. And this is me not, but kind of hitting on you. Okay, Troy? Just throwing it out
but
there.
Kind of.
All right?
Not, but kind
do
of.
bestie.
Troy, you want to go ahead and plug yourself everywhere people can find you?
Oh, yeah. Troy Miller DJ, pretty much anywhere, any platform, even on the B-Reel.
Yeah, on the B-Reel, bro.
You followed me like last week or 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And of course, DJSoundSolutions.com for all of your DJ or booking needs here. in the state of Indiana.
Hell yeah, man.
By the way, before we get to dad jokes, you also have your own podcast, Troy.
Yeah,
I do. Behind the Lights podcast.
there you go.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I did have Joe Bunn on there, so I've kind of peaked, and I don't know what to do from there. So, I don't know. It's kind of hit and miss. I'm every week, but
so from here, it's the Drew and Fuse show. Like you get the Drew and Fuse show on, and you've made it. Okay, not us, the Drew and Fuse show.
Please. The last episode that we were guests on hasn't been posted, and it's been 3 weeks.
Oh, no.
So, not naming any names.
The Drew and Fuse show?
No, when you probably don't even remember when we were guests on the podcast. We were guests on another podcast. You don't remember that? Like
the Hot Q's podcast.
Yeah. It just still hasn't been posted.
It'll be up 3 weeks from now.
It'll be up in a little bit. But Troy, I mean, honestly, I can say, dude, you're a breath of fresh air in this world because you love your job so much, and I
just hope people can see that through the Instagram. Dude, hopefully, they can see it.
I don't even remember how it happened because it happened like a month and a half ago when I asked you to be on. But I was just like, dude, this guy just loves this community so much, and everybody needs to know about him. Like, if you're ever like at a point where you're like, man, I don't want to take this gig, then just look at Troy and remember that he's getting up at 4. He's got 2 kids. He's got the DJ life too. Like, he's doing everything, and then he's staying up until 11 o'clock at night talking to a couple of Goonies about dick jokes. Like, so I just
who are they?
You're yeah, that's what he's doing after this. So you're an inspiration to everybody. Sometimes I need to humble myself, and that's one thing I love about doing this podcast is that getting to chat with people like you. Yeah, it brings me back down to my level.
We all got to stay humble. I mean, like I said, ego is a big, huge. It can be a downfall. So we all got to stay in check, and basically,
By the way,
count our blessings.
I can't wait. So I couldn't hear him. Oh, you were talking. You keep cutting out in my headphones. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Shorty. What were you gonna say?
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
I can't. Can I hear you guys?
Can you?
I just want to do dad jokes.
Wait, there you are.
Hi.
All right.
I heard Kevin's laugh.
Yeah. You all right?
Troy was like breaking up out,
No,
and then all of a sudden I couldn't hear anything.
We got to stay humble, and this ego is a big part. It drives a lot of us. It could be our downfall. We just got to count our blessings and just be thankful for everything we have because it can all be taken away tomorrow. So we just gotta count our blessings, man.
Yeah, and it almost happened to all of us.
Right before we get to dad jokes, just want to announce breaking news. We have been posted up on the Hot Q's podcast. There you go.
Seriously?
Woo! Just now. 4 minutes ago.
Tony was literally has been trying to message me this entire time. He's like, quick question, quick. He tried to call me on Discord and shit. And I'm just like, not right now. A little busy. All right. We're going into dad jokes. Troy, do you have a dad joke?
I do have one prepared.
Yes.
Shit, yeah.
Yes. I was like, this is a dad telling a dad joke. How do we not do this? Would you like to go first?
So Troy, like always, we rate the dad jokes 1 to 10. So get ready, okay? We're harsh
just
critics
so you know,
here.
every guest has gotten a 10 out of 10 on their dad jokes. So it's But all right, whenever you're ready, my friend.
All right. Why couldn't the pirate get through the alphabet?
Oh, because he's. Hold on. I kind of know this. Because he stumbled over his R's.
No. He got lost at sea.
Oh.
I'm not frozen.
No.
Bro, that's a misdirect. That's beautiful.
Because see where I went with it.
Everybody thinks you're going to go to R.
R for sure. You got lost
You would
at sea.
think.
I was like, you got lost at sea.
You got lost at sea.
Big Earn post a dad joke the other day that was hilarious too. You guys remember that? Did you see Big Earn post that?
No.
No.
About 2 antennas getting married.
What? No, what is it?
No.
2 antennas got married. The ceremony wasn't much, but the reception was outstanding.
Oh my God, dude. And it's a wedding joke? Let's go.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. If you have a third one, then just go, bro. Do you have a third one? You want to just take the whole segment? Like
I don't have a third.
All right, cool. I do have one. I've got one. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and cute, kind of like that, right? All right. So
Kinda
I did
like you.
kind of like short, sweet, and cute. All right. A sweater I bought. I bought this sweater recently, and it was getting real annoying because it was like picking up static electricity like crazy. So I returned it to the store. Right. They gave me another one. Guess what? It was free of charge.
Ah, I love it. Free of charge.
Shorty just hates when I tell jokes. He's heard me tell like 6,000 jokes at this point. He's fucking over
I used
it.
to do this on the radio. Like literally, I used to yell at him.
I think I just heard a
His jokes
dog
would
yelp.
just be... What?
I just heard a dog yelp. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. This has been like one of the most distracted episodes we have ever had. However, I've learned a lot about you, Troy. I think we got into some deep conversations. You pulled the curtain back a little bit, which was awesome. Do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I just want to say, you guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And, I mean, there isn't too many podcasts out there now that can fill that void of the PhDJ podcast. But I think you guys are doing a tremendous job. And guys out here like me are listening and keep bringing us the knowledge, all them little nuggets. I mean, I'm like a sponge. I'm taking it all in.
You are the spongiest in the industry, I think, right now, which sounds weird. However, dude, like it's again, like I could toot your horn forever. That sounds sexual. It's just, bro, it's super cool that you just soak it up like that and that you love it, because you know there's a lot of people that could be reminded of the love that we have for what we do. So thank you for being here. Shorty, do you have any closing marks?
Yeah, I want to say that I loved Troy's jokes, both of them on fire, even though one was earned. Still good. Kevin,
I leave a lot to be desired. I know.
It was okay.
Just ask Teddy about it.
Yeah. We'll talk about my dating life next week on the next show. How about that?
There you go. We ate up a little more time than we thought, huh?
That's fine.
All right, so stay tuned
for
check us out next week. Actually, I think we might have a special guest that's going to be doing our closing outro for this episode. So fingers crossed that you get to hear it coming up in right now.
Thanks for checking out the Radio Shorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as videos on our YouTube page. For exclusive clips and highlights, check out our Instagram and TikTok at Radio Shorty Podcast, and we will see you next Tuesday.